Hey, Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ bless. I am Officer Razis.
Officer Asahel.
And you are now tuned into ATX in the Classroom, all right? The title of today's class is The Horrifying Influence of Islam in the Black Community, all right? IT, can we get the thumbnail real quick? Can you pull up the thumbnail for us? There you go, all right? The Horrifying Influence of Islam in the Black Community, all right? Because, you could drop it now, IT. Because what we see going on today is Islam has infiltrated our communities, all right? They have infiltrated the minds of the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American man, all right? And we here to cast it down. We here to show you the evils of these so-called Arabs, all right? Because they're Ishmael in the Bible, all right? We're going to show you all of that. We're going to show you all of that. But first, let's deal with the Black community, right? What makes the Black community? What makes us a nation, okay? So let's pull that up real quick. Pull that first article up real quick. Let's read the title of that.
African American culture. African Americans have faced systemic and violent racism, including through eras of enslavement, Jim Crow laws, segregation, and the civil rights movement. This racism has led to African Americans being excluded from many aspects of American life, and these experiences have profoundly influenced African American culture. Moreover, even in the face of these significant challenges and other experiences of racial discrimination, African Americans have demonstrated extraordinary ingenuity in producing distinctive traditions.
Producing distinctive traditions, okay? So this was going to make a community, or another word for community is culture, right?
Culture, right.
Your traditions, read on.
And radical innovations in music,
art,
literature, religion, cuisine,
come on,
and other fields. These cultural expressions often serve as powerful devices for advancing racial justice and shape African American culture.
So all these different aspects make up a community, a culture, okay? Likewise, in the scripture, God gave us laws, statutes, and commandments, which makes up our heritage, okay? So drop that. Give me Sirach chapter 17, verse 11. Sirach 17, 11, because the Lord gave us the moral laws, right? He gave us the civil, ceremonial, dietary, and sacrificial laws. He gave us these things for an heritage, okay? So let's read that.
The book of Sirach, chapter 17, verse 11.
Come on.
Beside this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for an heritage.
Read it again.
Beside this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for an heritage.
So he gave us the laws of life for an heritage, okay? He gave us the law, statutes, and commandments. Right. All right, give me Psalm chapter 119 and 111. All right, so these are the things that the Lord gave us, but you see today that we have turned away from our law, statutes, and commandments. We have turned away from our heritage, okay? But we must come back to it. Like I said, the Lord gave, this was makes us special. This was makes us different from all the other nations, because the one true God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, gave us his laws. Read that.
The book of Psalms, chapter 119, verse 111. Thy testimonies have I taken as an heritage forever, and for they are the rejoicing of my heart.
Right. So go to Sirach 24, verse 23.
The book of Sirach, chapter 24 and verse 23. All these things are the book of the covenant of the Most High God, even the law which Moses commanded for an heritage unto the congregations of Jacob.
Right. So he gave us, it says, all these things are the book of the covenant of the Most High God, even the law which Moses commanded for an heritage unto Jacob. So he gave us his laws, statutes, and commandments for an heritage. All right. But give me, real quick, give me Deuteronomy chapter 14 and verse, Deuteronomy 14, I think it's verse 2.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14 and verse 2. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God, and the Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself, above all the nations that are upon the earth.
Right, so he made us a peculiar people, but what makes us peculiar, right? What makes us peculiar? Because like I said, he gave us his law, statutes, and commandments, All right, he gave us his law, statutes, and commandments, and this is what makes us peculiar. Give me that Wisdom of Solomon, 19 verse 6.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 19, verse 6. For the whole creature in his proper kind was fashioned again anew, serving the peculiar commandments that were given unto them, that thy children might be kept without hurt.
Right, so the commandments is what makes us peculiar, okay? That makes us special. That makes us different, is the commandments of God, all right? But what has happened, like I said, we've turned away from that, right? We have turned so far away, and we're going to show you're going to see how Islam has affected the minds of our people, okay? Give me Jeremiah chapter 2 and verse 11.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, verse 11. Hath a nation changed their gods, which are yet no gods? But my people have changed their glory for that which doth not profit.
Right, so it says, have a nation changed their gods, which are yet no gods? The other nations, they hold fast to their gods.
Yes, they do.
They hold fast to their gods. But us, we have changed the glory of our God. We have let go of the law, statutes, and commandments. We have turned our backs from the laws and the covenants, the glory that the Lord had given us. We have turned our backs on it, right? Read on.
Be astonished, O ye heavens, at this, and be horribly afraid. Be ye very desolate, saith the Lord. For my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and hewed them out cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water.
So it says we have done two evils. We have done two evils, okay? It says, for my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living water. We have forsaken the words of God. That's that living water, is this Bible. We have forsaken it, okay? And it said, what was the other one? We have
hewed them out cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water.
So a cistern is something that you use to hold water, right?
Right.
It says we've hewed out broken cisterns. That's all these different religions. And especially what we're dealing with today is Islam. Islam is a broken a cistern, okay? There's no truth in it. There's no knowledge in it. It's lies, all lies.
There's an expression that we used to hear back in the old days, like that don't hold any water.
Yeah, that don't hold no water,
That don't hold
right?
no water.
Right.
Now you understand that it has no merit. It's not,
There's
it's
no
not
profit
sound.
in it.
Yes.
Okay? So we want to touch on all these black celebrities, all these athletes, all these so-called black role models in the community that are following after Islam, okay? Because it says we have turned our back from God. So pull this article up and let's read that real quick. Pull that article up. Yep, read that.
23 famous black Muslims.
Scroll. We just go. Oh, wait. Go up. Scroll up. Read that right there.
Muslims are the world's second largest religious group behind Christians.
So Muslims is the second largest religious group, the second one, right? Read on.
According to the Pew Research Center, nearly 1.6 billion people in the world practice Islam.
So 1.6 billion. That's a lot of people, man. And a lot of it is all people following after this stuff right here. Okay, read.
As such, there are a number of famous actors and actresses, singers, rappers, models, and more who have converted to Islam or were born into the Muslim faith. Here we take a look at 22 famous black Muslims.
Okay, so let's read the names of the people. Scroll down.
Janet Jackson.
Okay, we all know Janet Jackson, right? Scroll down.
Lupe Fiasco.
Oh, that's a rapper. Yep, there he go. So make sure you slow down on their image too. Okay, yep, go down.
Muhammad Ali.
Mm-hmm. Everybody knows Muhammad Ali. Right? This was a big one.
Yasin Bey.
I read who that is because I didn't know who that was until I read this.
Also known as Mos Def.
Okay, so we know who Mos Def is, right? Yep. Scroll down.
Q-Tip.
Come on.
Dave Chappelle.
All right, so I wanted to read this one on Dave Chappelle because this one, when we read this sums up the majority of all these black celebrities. Read this.
Dave Chappelle celebrates the Islamic faith, telling a Inside the Actors Studio host James Lipton that he is a Muslim. And while he doesn't necessarily practice.
Whoa, read that part again.
And while he doesn't necessarily practice the way a good Muslim should, he said that he believes in the tenets of the faith.
So that's the majority of all these black celebrities. They do not follow the true Muslim faith. Okay? And we're going to prove it. We're going to prove they do not follow the true Muslim. They are not real Muslims, man. This is why when I see these brothers on the streets and they talk about Assalamu alaikum, no, brother. You ain't no real Muslim, because we're going to show you what the real Muslims do. We're going to show you, and you going to let us know by the end of the day if you a real Muslim, if you really follow Islam. All right, scroll down.
Salim Akil and Mara Brock Akil.
Scroll down. Let's see who that is right there. Okay.
Akon.
We all know who Akon is, the singer, right? And this is why the hypocrisy of these people, because they say they Muslim, right? But their lifestyle don't reflect it. Their lifestyle does not reflect them being Muslims, right? And we're gonna show you, man. This and shame on you celebrities, because these Arabs, these Muslims have done much evil to our people, man. Much evil. And we're gonna expose all of it today. All right? Read that.
Busta Rhymes. Halima Adin.
Keep going.
Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson. Everybody know Mike Tyson as well.
Ice Cube. Iman. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
So these are all celebrities that our people look up to. These are, you would say, role models in the black community. Okay? Read on.
Jermaine Jackson. Shaquille O'Neal.
I didn't know Shaquille O'Neal was a so-called Muslim. I didn't know that. All right?
Mahershala Ali.
He's a famous actor.
Katira Rafiqzada. Michael Ealy.
And this dude, we all know he's an actor as well, but this is what happens when you marry the other nations. This is what happens when you marry the other nations, man. All right? You follow after their ways and their traditions. Okay?
Raekwon. Ibtihaj Muhammad. Ikram Abdi. SZA.
SZA. So we all know her, all right? So drop that. So that was different celebrities. Yeah, she a Muslim. I'm telling you. And you see her doing much evil, right? Yeah. So that was celebrities, actors, ball players, all these different type of celebrities. But I wanted to touch this one again, because when it comes to our communities, this is who the youth is following. And the question you have to ask yourself, why is it that the Arabs are targeting these people? Right. Why are they targeting celebrities, man? Yep. Why are they going after the celebrities? Because they know that they will influence the black youth.
That's it.
Okay, they know this. All right, so pull this article up.
13 rappers who are Muslim.
Just we're gonna read the names.
Ice Cube, Jay Electronica, Freeway, Beanie Siegel, Lupe Fiasco, Lil Durk.
Stop right there. Stop Lil Durk. Everybody following, because he's the hottest rapper right now. Lil Durk. Okay? And we're gonna touch on him with the old block and all of that stuff. How this stuff is really affecting the minds of the youth, man. And these Arabs, these Ishmael, they're going to these people, man, and converting these people, and it's plaguing the black community. Yes. Not knowing the true history of Islam, not knowing the true history of the Muslims, how they raped, robbed, and murdered us, how they still doing it to this very day, man. Okay? So we got to bring this stuff out to expose the lies and the evil and the atrocities that these Arabs have done and that they're still doing to our people. All right, scroll down.
French Montana, Busta Rhymes, PNB Rock.
Yeah, he got killed. Where was Allah for that? Okay, where was your God or where was your rock when he got killed? All right, scroll down.
Swiss Beats, Dave East, Kevin Gates.
All right, so these are all these rappers and these kids. There's more? All right.
Q-Tip.
Yeah, so all these kids, they follow after these rappers, man. They follow the youth. They believe in these guys. They put their trust in these guys. They believe the words that they say. And watch this. Pull the next video up. So what we're doing right now, we're building the stage to show how Islam has influenced the black community, how they have, They pretty much infiltrated, and now they have corrupted our people. They have corrupted the minds of the youth, and this thing is spreading. This is why we got to go and hit these streets. We got to cast this imagination down, man. We got to show our people the truth of the scriptures, that you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you are the Israelites. You are God's chosen people. Come out of this Islam stuff, man. Stop following the ways of the Arabs. It's crazy to me that all other nations want us to follow their God, right? Christianity, the white man, they want us to follow a white Jesus that looks like them. The Arabs want us to follow Muhammad, Allah, a God that looks like them. All these nations do that, man. But how come nobody following a God that looks like us?
That looks like us, that's right. The true God.
The true God. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. That's why you need to wake the hell up, man. Play this video.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Luca Brass, Louis B used to be, they treated me like Dave Chappelle.
For Muhammad and Allah, the most beneficial through you, all things are possible. I know you're listening.
It's me and Allah, go back like cronies, I ain't got to be fake, cause he is my homie,
Yeah, I'm shooting them stars, I'm like, I'm do Allah,
Street niggas need to pray up.
Pause it, man. And this is the hypocrisy. Dudes just throwing up Crips, throwing up Bloods, tatted up, smoking, have a whole bunch of hoes in their videos talking about Allah. This is how I'm telling y'all not real Muslims, man. Y'all not following after Allah. Y'all not following after Islam. Because we're going to show you what the real Muslims do.
Right.
And if you're not doing this, don't talk to me about you some Muslim, man. Straight up. All of this is to corrupt the youth, to corrupt the minds of our people. All right, play on.
Need a prayer. Scream all over whack boy when it's time for the die. Scream all over whack boy when it's time for the die.
The seven spirits of God, when I open the seal, interpret the Holy Quran. These flows of God.
Pick the Quran up. I couldn't understand that Bible. Allah's
Pause. Dude said he picked the Quran up, couldn't understand the Bible. The reason why you can't understand the Bible because you evil as hell.
That's it.
You evil as hell. That's why, give me that Psalms 111 and 10. This is why you can't understand the Bible. You got the devil on you, man. You following after a God that don't exist. This is that jailhouse stuff. The Islam brothers learn Islam. They go to prison, do a few years, and they come out talking about Allah Akbar. Assalamu alaikum ak. That stuff is foolishness, man. Read that.
The book of Psalms, chapter 111, verse 10.
Come on.
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments.
So a good understanding have all they that do his commandments. That's why you don't understand the Bible, because you're not doing no commandments. You're not doing, you tatted up, you tats on your face, a whole bunch of hoes, smoked out, drunk, popping pills.
Yep.
In the club, reveling, talking about, I don't understand that Bible stuff. Of course you're not going to understand the Bible. All right? Play on.
Allah's my witness.
So what you know about how God comes first in our lives? Everything that we do is for Allah.
All I heard was Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
So our youth is listening to this stuff and they eating it up. They eating this stuff up, man. Okay, this is why, shout out to Original Royalty, all right? We got our own music. This is why we need to push righteous music because we trying to combat this stuff right here. Okay, so play the next video. Remember, we setting the stage, we're building the stage showing how Islam has influenced the black community, the Hispanic community, all right? Play that.
We worship God, right? We part of one Ummah, that's what we on, man. That's what we pushing, right? It's real big, that's the beginning, right?
So that's one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in Chicago known as O Block, okay? Now, majority of these brothers is practicing Muslim. They say they follow Islam, okay? But at the same time, they killing each other at an alarming rate over there. Killing each other like crazy, but they say that they're Islam. They say that they're Muslim, okay? Makes no sense. And they're trying to portray like it's something good, and no, but they're still selling drugs to one another. They're still prostituting their sisters, right? They're still doing all this evil. Why? Because this man is coming into their neighborhoods. Watch this. Play it.
This is your brother Uthman ibn Farouk here in Chicago, O Block. That's that O Block out here. giving da'wah. We're not afraid to give da'wah everywhere. Wherever it's needed, we're going to go and call people towards Tawheed upon the Quran and the Sunnah and the way of the Salaf al-Ummah. We've already had 10 people accept Islam today. We're going to keep going. We ask Allah to guide all of mankind. We want all of you to make dua for us, that Allah makes us shuhada in the path of da'wah.
هو الأمين موافقي حمدا لمن هداني لسنة العدنان محمد المختار وسيد الأطهار.
So my thing is, why the hell is these Arabs coming to our community, man? They have the nerve to come to our community, but brothers will try to go there, and the so-called the gangsters, the leaders in the community, they killing each other. Right. But the Arabs could come and set up shop in your neighborhoods, man. You should be ashamed of yourself. The Arab man could come in your neighborhood, set up shop, and push a false doctrine, and y'all eat it up. We go out there, we get pushed back. Okay, this is why we had to go play the next video. We had to go out there and blitz their ass, man. We had to go blitz old block because of the evil that we seen going on, because of the killing and because of this Islam stuff that they pushing up there, man. All right, play the video. We went there. We had to show them what the truth was, what it really is. Okay, play it.
It's about this. You are a part of something much bigger than you know. We got a team that's in the sky all around us that's a whole lot bigger than us. Don't never worry about nothing.
Fear God. Says fear God and keep His commandments. For this is the whole duty of man.
Listen, what you just said, we lost our purpose. I was just like you one time. I was in your exact same situation, feeling lost. Feeling like I had no purpose in life until I understood what the whole duty of man is.
Okay, this is a blessing that we have all these black men out here today doing something positive in our community. Thank you guys. Be blessed.
So we had to go out there, man.
That's right.
We had to go out there and show them what the truth was, man. Give me that real quick, Psalms 119, verse 142. We had to go and hit O Block up and show them what the truth is. But guess what? They gave us pushback. They didn't even let us into the into the actual neighborhood, okay? But they let Ishmael shut up shop, come up, teach his false religion, teach his false doctrine, converted all the brothers in the neighborhood. But we tried to go over there. They gave us pushback. But you know what we did? We surrounded the whole neighborhood. We surrounded like Jericho. Yep. We surrounded that neighborhood, and they got just the like business.
That's right.
Yep. Like you said, like what, officer?
Just like Barclays.
Yep. Just like the Barclays. Yep. They got the business, man. Read that.
The book of Psalms, chapter 119, verse 142.
Come on.
Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law.
Thy what?
Thy law.
Come on.
Is the truth.
So that's what we went to go give the brothers over there. The truth. That you so-called blacks and Hispanics, Native Americans, you are the Israelites.
That's right.
Stop following after this garbage religion, Islam. Stop following after the Arabs, after the Muslims, man. Okay? So pull this up. Like I said, we building the stages. Be patient with us, Israel, because we got a lot to show you. Now this is another influential figure in the community. Gervonta Davis, a famous boxer. Look what happened with him now. Watch this. Play it.
Okay. Say after me, right? أشهد أن لا إله إلا Allah. I testify that none has the right to be worshipped except Allah. Wa ashhadu.
This is Jeremiah 3 and 2 right here. He sat for the Arabians. Don't worry, we're going to pull it a little bit.
I testify that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. Listen. Alhamdulillah, we have our brother here, Devontae. May Allah preserve him and bless him. As many of you know, that he embraced Islam. Alhamdulillah.
He's like a slave, man.
And I just wanted to talk about
crazy.
Something that's very important and beneficial. The attribute that he chose, the name that he chose as a Muslim is Abdul Wahid. And it means the servant of the one. From the names of Allah, the names of God is Al-Wahid, the one. And that's a beautiful name. He is one. God is one. And that's the beauty of Islam. We believe in one God. We worship one God. The Lord of all of the prophets and the messengers. The Lord of Adam, Abraham, Moses, Jesus, Muhammad.
Stop right there. So he said the one God of the prophets, and then he named the men of the Bible, then he named Muhammad. Give me that. You know what I want? Amos 2:11. Okay? Because Muhammad is not a prophet. He was never a prophet. Understand that. This is how they confuse and lie to our people, man. The only prophets come out of the nation of Israel.
That's right.
That's it. No one else. Read.
The book of Amos, chapter 2, verse 11. And I raised up of your sons for prophets.
Come on.
And of your young men for Nazarites.
Read.
Is it not even thus, O ye children of Israel?
O ye who?
O ye children of Israel.
So the only prophets come out of the children of Israel. That's it. No one else. All right? But they will push this rhetoric and have our people believing that Muhammad was a prophet. Okay? Which is a false, which is a lie. Right. Again, you see they keep going to these, because he's the face of boxing right now. He's the biggest boxer in boxing right now. The most famous boxer. So what do? They go to him to convert. Excuse me. And then teach our people this garbage. It's a crying shame, man. It's a crying shame. So drop that, pull the next video. So it gets even worse, officer. It gets worse. All right? Not only is the blacks converting, right? The so-called black man, that's you, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, are converting to Islam. But even Northern Kingdom, man. They got Northern Kingdom converting to this stuff. Watch this. Play on.
New at 5 millions of Muslims are observing the holy month of Ramadan right now.
Islam is a religion that is growing by the day. Research from the Pew Research Center shows that Latino representation among Muslims in America is on the rise. In 2011, Latinos made up 6% of the Muslim population. In 2017, that number was up to 8%. And there's a new study underway right now, which gives us an update on growth in the last 6 years.
Mike Blvd joins us now. Michael, numbers can only tell us so much. You've talked to someone who has seen that growth firsthand.
Yeah, that's right, Karen. You know, he and I just completed our first week of Ramadan along, like you said, with millions of Muslims across the country, as well as 2 Coloradans who recently converted and are also Latino.
When I first heard the call to Islam as a Chicano, I thought I was alone. But 2 years into my journey, I'm learning that Latino and Latina Muslims like me are not as uncommon as I once thought.
Based on data, Latinos are the fastest growing ethnic group embracing Islam in America.
Pause. You heard that? Latinos is the fastest ethnic group converting to Islam. This is why we got a big job to do when it comes to the Northern Kingdom, man. This is why we got to travel to these various countries. We got to go to Colombia. We got to go to Brazil. We got to go to Ecuador, Nicaragua, Belize, okay? Peru, Chile, who else? Argentina. We got to go to Mexico. We got to go to these different countries, man. We have to hit it up because this is what's going on. They're converting our people to this stuff, man. Some evil stuff, and we're going to show the depths of Islam and how evil and wicked this religion is. How they've been oppressing our people for over hundreds and hundreds of years. But this is the stuff that they don't talk about. The atrocities that happened to our brothers, right, during the trans-Saharan slave trade, or the sub-Saharan slave trade, or the Indian Ocean slave trade. All these different names they gave it. Okay, play on.
Based on data, Latinos are the fastest growing ethnic group embracing Islam in America.
Jaime Mujahid Fletcher is a Colombian American who embraced Islam 21 years ago. Soon, his father also wanted to learn about the religion, and Jaime had a hard time finding educational material that was written in Spanish. That effort grew into Islam in Spanish, an Islamic center that doesn't convert Latinos and Latinas, but provides educational information about the religion in Spanish. Jaime says they've seen an explosion of Latino and Latina converts.
People just show up and they say, hey, we're coming here to embrace Islam.
Rudy Sanchez and Juana Serrano also heard and answered the call to Islam.
It just really started pulling at my heart.
Both they and
Pause. This is the hypocrisy with the sisters too, man. Our Northern Kingdom sisters talking about Islam because you saw her in pants, right? She was wearing pants. The real Muslims, those that really follow Islam in Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, them sisters not dressed like that, bro. Put it on the screen. Put it on the screen. Dumb sisters are not dressed like that. In Afghanistan, when the Taliban got back into power, they was putting sisters to death. dressed like this. They was putting them to death, man. Okay, so this is the hypocrisy. This is how you know this is it's just another feel-good song. Our people, they looking for identity. They looking for culture. They looking for a heritage that we brought out earlier.
That's it.
That's what they looking for, but they go into these broken cisterns, man. Okay, give me Hosea chapters 7 and verse 8. You could drop Northern Kingdom. You could drop Northern Kingdom, all right? So we're just showing you that Northern Kingdom has been affected by Islam as well. Okay? Read that. Hosea chapter 7 and verse 8.
The book of Hosea, chapter 7, verse 8. Ephraim, he hath mixed himself among the people.
Ephraim has done what?
Mixed himself among the people.
Read on.
Ephraim is a cake not turned.
So we usually pull this to show Ephraim mixed with the other nations, and that's why they come in different shades, right? But I'm going to show you something. It says Ephraim has mixed himself with among the people. Give me that in Psalms.
The book of Psalms, chapter 106 and verse 34.
Watch this. Read.
They did not destroy the nations concerning whom the Lord commanded them.
Come on.
But were mingled.
But were what?
Were mingled.
They were what?
Mingled.
They mingled. They mixed themselves. Okay, read.
Among the heathen and learned their works.
And they did what?
And learned their works.
And they learned Islam. That's what we seen going on today. You got Northern Kingdom mixing themselves with these Arabs, and then now they're learning their works. Same thing with Judah. Okay? They're learning their works. All right? So now you could drop all of that. We're gonna deal with let's deal with now.
Hey,
How,
Azariah.
yeah, go ahead, officer.
In doing some research for this class, I came across a video, and it was a young man, and he was saying that because he felt marginalized in the mainstream religion, he got pulled into Islam.
Wow.
Because our people are like second and third class citizens in Christianity.
These different, right?
So
right.
now they go to be a second and third class
citizen in Islam. And that's the thing, that's the trap, the trick bag, the trap that they fall into. They think they're gonna be equal in following this Arab religion when they come to find out they get treated like ish. Or even worse sometimes. Even worse. And we're gonna show it. So give me Sirach chapter 12, verse 10. Sirach chapter 12, verse 10. So we showed all of that to set the stage to show you how Islam has infiltrated and influencing our community, all brothers and sisters, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? Read that, Sirach chapter 12 and verse 10.
The book of Sirach, chapter 12, verse 10.
Come on.
Never trust thine enemy.
Do what?
Never trust thine enemy.
The Bible says to never, ever trust your enemy. But the thing with the black and Hispanic man, they believe they don't got no enemies. They think everyone loves them. All right? But we're going to show you who your enemy is. Give me that Psalms 83. Start at verse 2. Showing who are our enemies. Because the Negro man, the Hispanic man, they don't know nothing. All right? They don't know who's they look at their brothers as their own enemy. Right? That's what we see in Chicago.
The book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 2.
Come on.
For lo, thine enemies.
Thy what?
Thine enemies.
Come on.
Make a tumult. And they that hate
and
thee.
And they that what?
And they that hate thee.
These nations hate you. This is what you don't understand. You following after a religion from a nation that hates you. That makes no sense. When has the Arab man ever done anything good for you? You go to the hood, especially in New York, you go to the hood, to the bodega, the Arab man is running the bodega. Guess what he got? He got a nigger window. He got a nigger window so you can't even touch him. You got to drop your money in the nigger window. He'll take your money and then he'll give you a receipt. These nations hate you, man. Read on.
And they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones.
We are those hidden ones, and they have taken crafty counsel. That's what we saw with Ishmael setting up shop in our communities. That's crafty counsel. Okay, read.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
Right. No more do we say we are the children of Israel. Now we claiming Islam and we're Muslim and Allah. Okay, they have cut us off from being a nation. Read.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
Watch this.
For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
Read.
The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites.
And the who?
And the Ishmaelites.
And the Ishmaelites. These are your enemies. Okay, remember in the article it said the two biggest religions was Christianity and Islam. Okay? Edom for Christianity and Ishmael for Islam. They on the first two on the hit list, man. They're the first two. All right, so we're going to deal with Ishmael. All right, let's see what the scholars say about Ishmael. Pull up the who's who. Yep, read that. Read the name of it, Ishmael, and then go down to the last paragraph.
Ishmael, Hebrew for God hears. By Jewish and Muslim tradition, Ishmael came to be regarded as the ancestor of the nomad desert tribes, particularly those inhabiting the area from the Sinai Desert across the Negev to southern Jordan. The Hebrews considered themselves superior to these primitive and usually hostile desert kinsmen.
You hear what the scholars put? That the Hebrews consider themselves superior. So why in the hell do we follow after the Arabs? Why in the hell are we following after Muslims? When the scholars know that the Israelites were superior, man. Give me that Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Come on.
The Lord thy God have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
Read.
Above.
What?
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
So we are superior. The so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You Israelites, we are superior. All right? So leave this foolishness, this garbage, man. Read on. Go back to the book.
Descended from the common forefather Abraham, the Arabs, on their part, venerate Ishmael as their forefather.
Read that part again. The Arabs what?
The Arabs, on their part, venerate Ishmael as their forefather. And there is a Muslim legend that he and his mother Hagar are buried in the sacred Kaaba at Mecca. It is interesting that in some Arab tribes, male children are...
All right, so you can stop right there. So the Arabs confirm that Ishmael is their forefather. The scholars know this, man. The scholars know this, that the Arabs are Ishmael. Go to the next book. Yep. This is the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. Where do we want to start? I want to get straight to the point on this one.
Ishmaelite. They lived in camps in the desert of northern Arabia, although occasionally some of them settled down as the Nabateans. Mostly, however, they lived like Ishmael, a wild man.
A what?
A wild man of the desert.
A wild man. We're going to show you how wild this man is. And like I said, if you're not doing what these Arabs is doing, you're not a real Muslim.
Right.
You're not following Islam if you're not doing what the Arabs is really doing, man. Okay, read on.
And also like him, they were famous for their skill with the bow. Joseph was sold by his brothers to some Ishmaelites.
Watch this, read on.
The word is apparently used in the Old Testament in a wider sense, referring to the nomadic tribes of northern Arabia.
Watch this.
Generally, all Arabs.
What?
All Arabs.
Come on.
Following Muhammad's example, claim descent from Ishmael.
So all Arabs claim descent of Ishmael. All right, so you are following after the Arabs. You are following the Arab religion.
Right.
That it has nothing to do with you. Islam has nothing to do with you, all right? So now we're going to go into the history of Ishmael at war with us in the scriptures, always from the very beginning, all right? Ishmael always been against us, all right? So let's get that. Genesis 16 and 11. Let's start at the beginning. We're going to show you Ishmael always been at war against us, all right? Read.
The book of Genesis, chapter 16, verse 11. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, Behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shalt call his name Ishmael.
Read.
Because the Lord hath heard thy affliction. And he will be a wild man.
He will be a what?
A wild man.
Come on.
And his hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him.
So the Bible says Ishmael will be a wild man. How wild will he be? He will strap C4 to himself and blow himself up in the name of Allah. That's what the real Arabs do. That's what the real Muslim is doing. The Sunni and the Shiites. All right? Brothers come up to us at camp and be like, oh, I'm a Muslim. All right, so which one are you? You Sunni or Shiite? I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know what the hell we talking about. You ain't no damn real Muslim. Watch it. We're going to show you what the real Muslims do. Watch. Play this video.
No, fuerte.
Yep. Hey, rewind it and take off the disclaimer. I want to read what it's saying. Take off the disclaimer. Read that.
Warning. Surveillance video captures the moment a suicide bomber detonates his vest in Manbij, Syria.
Right. This is the real Muslims. This is what they do.
No, fuerte.
Yeah. In the name of Allah, this is what they believe in.
ISIS has claimed responsibility for the attack, which caused multiple deaths and injuries.
Read that.
A number of U.S. service members were among the casualties.
All right, so take it off the screen. So that's what the real Arabs are doing. That's how wild this man is, that he will strap C4 to himself. Now, let's play the next video. Let's get into the mind of one of these suicide bombers. The mind of the Arab man, the wild man. Watch this. Play that.
Behind these high walls at Pulachaki prison, among the 7,000 inmates, are several men who say they're hell-bent on being terrorists. We've come here to meet a confessed would-be suicide bomber, one of hundreds now locked up behind bars. 25-year-old Rahala believes he was carrying out God's will when he and his friends planned an attack on American soldiers in Nangarhar province.
So they pause it. So they said they was doing God's will, Allah's will. This is what I'm saying. This is how you know these brothers don't believe the Quran. They don't follow no Muslim. They don't follow no Islam. They're not following no Sunni or Shiite. Because this is how they get down. This is what they believe in. The black man today in America, it looks cool. It sounds cool to be a Muslim. Right. It's the new trend. But you ain't doing none of this. All right, play on.
He agreed to wear a suicide vest.
Rewind it a little bit. Rewind it a little bit. Yeah.
Behind bars. 25-year-old Rahala believes he was carrying out God's will when he and his friends planned an attack on American soldiers in Nangarhar province. He says he agreed to wear a suicide vest and kill as many foreigners as possible. It's a special feeling that comes to you when you are ready for a suicide attack, he tells me. No one can stop you. No one could stop me.
Pause. So drop that. You see the mindset of these people? He says it's a special feeling when he gets when he's doing this stuff. He said nobody could stop him. That's what they believe in. All right? Pull the next video up, that Tatbir. All right? This is another thing. If you're not doing this, don't talk to me about you a Muslim, man. This is what the real Muslims is doing. Pause it. Drop the disclaimer.
I don't see Jake.
We got to read what it says.
What is Tatbir? Tatbir is a mourning ritual that is practiced on the 10th of Muharram, Ashura, practiced in Iraq, Iran, India, Turkey, Pakistan, Lebanon, the Gulf, and around the world.
Look what they doing. Pause it. If you're not doing this, you're not a real Muslim, man. They got swords and they cutting themselves in the head with the swords, man. All in the name of Allah. All in the name of the Muslim Islamic religion. If you're not doing this, you're not a real Muslim. Straight up. Play. Read.
Consisting of bloodletting from the head using swords. Out of grief and in remembrance for Imam Hussein, the grandson of the Prophet Muhammad, who was murdered.
So we know, pause. So we know that Muhammad and his grandson, they was not prophets. We know that for a fact. Only the Israelites can be prophets. But this is how strong their faith is and belief is. This is how far they'll go. I don't see no black folks doing this. Like you said, officer, I don't see no Jake, Latino, none of them in this video doing this type of stuff because y'all not real. Y'all not real Muslim. This is why we're trying to call y'all to come out of this stuff. Because if you really follow the Muslim faith, you'll be doing all this crazy madness right here. Okay? This is some evil, wicked, demonic stuff that these guys is doing, man. Arabs is crazy as hell. Read, play on.
The ritual is done in line with narrations from the Al-Bat.
All right, drop. You can pause it, take it down. All right, so I wanted to get a precept real quick dealing with going back to the bombing, right?
Right.
Get that Jeremiah 51 and start at verse 14, and then we're going to deal with this tip bar real quick too. Like I said, y'all brothers need to come out of this stuff, man. We trying to save you from yourself. Because when Ish hits the fan, all you brothers that's claiming to be Muslim and all, y'all going to get jammed up. When Esau come for the Arabs, y'all going to get jammed up. I'm telling you straight.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 12.
Come on.
Set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. Set up the watchmen. Prepare the ambushes.
Do what?
Prepare the ambushes.
This is what the Arabs are going to do. They're going to ambush America. They're going to ambush Babylon. Read.
For the Lord hath both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon.
That's America. That's Edom. Read.
O thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures, thine end is come, and the measure of thy covetousness.
Read on.
The Lord of hosts hath sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill thee with men, as with caterpillars.
What men will he fill them with? The wild men, the caterpillars. What does a caterpillar do? It destroys, it eats things from the inside out.
Right.
Letting you know that there's a lot of Arabs here in America already. Remember, this is the great melting pot. All nations is here. All Arabs is here. You got Sunni, Shiites, all type of Muslims is here. Ready for that call. Remember, they already waved the flag of doom.
They already waved
the flag of death. Yep. They already waved that thing up. They already got the cue. They got the signal. They just waiting for that phone call. Read that verse again.
The Lord of hosts hath sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill thee with men, as with caterpillars.
Come on.
And they shall lift up a shout against thee.
Allah Akbar. Boom. That's the shout. What we saw in the video. That's what they going to do. I'm telling you, y'all better come out of this stuff, man. Y'all not real Muslims. Y'all not following Islam. This is the real Islam right here. All right, now let's get that in Kings. Dealing with that tit bar.
The book of 1 Kings, chapter 18 and verse 28. And they cried aloud.
Allah Akbar.
And cut themselves.
They did what?
And cut themselves.
Come on.
After their manner with knives and lancets, till the blood gushed out upon them.
I'm telling you, if you're not doing this, don't talk to me about no Islam, man. This is what they do. But I'm telling you, when y'all gonna watch this class, y'all so-called brothers that follow Muslims, and y'all gonna be like, no, that's the Quran say don't do that. That's not what the Quran teaches. We hear that all the time. But nah, this is what the Arabs is doing in their country. I'm telling you, the Negro, go drop the Negro off in Afghanistan. Right. Go drop him off in Iraq. Go drop him off in Yemen. He won't last 30 seconds out there. Your ass won't last 30 seconds out there. Also, you've been to some of these countries. You know what it is.
Yeah. I was in Iraq, and I was walking with my interpreter, and I had a 22-year-old walk up to me and told me if I had been in a city about 60 miles away, he said my head would have already been cut off.
Damn.
Yeah.
Said your head would have been cut off.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, these brothers playing games with this Muslim stuff. So we're going to show you how Ishmael always been at war with us, all right? Give me, go to Genesis 17:20 now. This is why they hate us.
The book of Genesis, chapter 17, verse 19. And God said, Sarah, thy wife shall bear thee a son, indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him.
So the chosen seed is Isaac's seed, right? Watch this.
And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation.
Watch this, come on.
But my covenant.
But what?
But my covenant.
Come on.
Will I establish with Isaac.
You hear that? This is why the Arabs hate us. Because they were not the chosen seed. They were not the chosen seed. We are the chosen seed.
That's right.
You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American, the Israelites. This is why the Arabs hate us. Give me that in Romans chapter 9, verse 7. And you want to claim these dirty Arabs religion, man. The hell with that. Nah. We Isaac. We Jacob. That's who we are. Romans 9 and verse 7.
The book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 7. Neither because they are the seed of Abraham.
Ishmael is the seed of Abraham, right? Come on.
Are they all children? But in Isaac shall thy seed be called.
But in Isaac shall thy seed be called. Okay? Give me that Isaiah 48 and verse 12. In Isaac shall the seed be called. Not Ishmael. Not the Arabs.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 48, verse 12. Hearken unto me, O Jacob and Israel, my called. I am he. I am the first. I also am the last.
You hear that? Israel is the called. Okay, so now give me Genesis 37. We're dealing with how Ishmael always been at war with us. We're going to get into it. These dudes always been against us.
The book of Genesis, chapter 37 and verse 23.
Come on.
And it came to pass, when Joseph was come unto his brethren, that they stripped Joseph out of his coat of many colors that was on him.
Read on.
And they took him and cast him into a pit. And the pit was empty. There was no water in it. And they sat down to eat bread.
So this is when the brothers, right, the 12 patriarchs, they came against Joseph, their own brother, right? Yes, that was some evil stuff, but look who was in the midst of that evil. Watch this. Read on.
And they sat down to eat bread. And they lifted up their eyes and looked, and behold, a company of Ishmaelites.
A company of who?
A company of Ishmaelites.
So Ishmael was in the midst of that stuff, man. Ishmael was there. And understand, the brothers selling Joseph, that was all prophets that had to happen for Joseph to save the nation. Okay? So, but look who was in the midst. Ishmael, right? Read on.
A company of Ishmaelites came from Gilead with their camels, bearing spicery and balm and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt.
Read on.
And Judah said unto his brethren, what profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal his blood? Come and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites.
Hey, I'm sorry, but Judah always try to make $1, man. Judah always try to make Judah some hustlers, man.
Hey, we saved him. We kept him alive, though.
Hey, damn, man. But he said, let's sell him to who?
Let's sell him to the Ishmaelites.
Read on.
And let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh. And his brethren were content.
Read.
Then there passed by Midianites, merchantmen, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites.
Sold Joseph to who?
To the Ishmaelites.
To the Arabs. To the Arabs. Okay? Read.
For 20 pieces of silver, and they brought Joseph into Egypt.
Right, all right. So now give me Judges chapter 8 and verse, we're going to start, let me see. Let me get there with you. Because when you read in Judges, right? Judges chapter 6, 7, and 8 is when Gideon was going to war with the Midianites. We just read about the Midianites, right? Gideon was going to war with the Midianites, and when you get to chapter 8, Gideon overcame the Midianites. He defeated the Midianites. Gideon was a prophet, a deliverer, a judge, a leader. He was an Israelite, and he defeated the Midianites. But look who was in the midst with Midian. Watch this. Judges chapter 8, and start at verse 22.
The book of Judges, chapter 8 and verse 22.
Come on.
Then the men of Israel said unto Gideon, rule thou over us, both thou and thy son's son also, for thou hast delivered us from the hand of Midian.
Come on.
And Gideon said unto them, I will not rule over you, neither shall my son rule over you. The Lord shall rule over you.
Watch this.
And Gideon said unto them, I would desire a request of you, that ye would give me every man the earrings of his prey.
The earrings of his prey. Watch, read.
For they had golden earrings because they were Ishmaelites.
Because they were Ishmaelites. So Ishmael was in the midst with Midianites. They was together fighting against us, coming up against us. And why is that? Why do you read that Ishmael and Midianites, right? We read that in Judges. We're reading that in we read it in Genesis, okay? That the Midianites and Ishmael were together. Because watch this. Go to Genesis chapter 25 and start at verse 1. Midian was another son of Abraham, Okay, and when you read the history and check this, what the scholars say, Midian was a nomadic people. There was a desert people as well. So them and the Ishmaelites were very close. They was very close, always together, coming up against the children of Israel. Watch this, Genesis 25 and verse 1.
The book of Genesis, chapter 25, verse 1. Then again Abraham took a wife, and her name was Keturah, and she bare him Zimran, and Jokshan, and Medan, and Midian.
And who?
And Midian.
And Midian. Read.
And Ishbak and Shua.
Now go back to Judges and read Judges 8, and I think it's we're going to finish that off in verse 28. So we're showing you how Ishmael always been at war with us, man. Read.
The book of Judges, chapter 8, verse 28. Thus was Midian subdued before the children of Israel, so that they lifted up their heads no more. And the country was in quietness 40 years in the days of Gideon.
All praises to the Most High. All praises for the prophet Gideon, all right? So give me 2 Chronicles 21 and verse 16. 2 Chronicles chapter 21 and verse 16.
The book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 21 and verse 16.
Read.
Moreover, the Lord stirred up against Jeroham.
Joram was the king of Judah, right? Read on.
The spirit of the Philistines and of the Arabians.
And the what?
The Arabians.
Come on.
That were near the Ethiopians.
So the Lord stirred up the Philistines, the Arabians, and the Ethiopians to come against us. And look what they did. Read.
And they came up into Judah and brake into it and carried away all the substance that was found in the king's house, and his sons also, and his wives, so that there was never a son left him, save Jehoahaz, the youngest of his sons.
So this is what the Arabs did to us, man. They came up against us. They always made war against us, man. So why in the hell are we following after their religion? Why are we claiming to be Muslim, to follow Islam, to praise Allah? When in the scriptures we read that they always came up against us, always was at war with us. Jump down to verse chapter 22 and verse 1.
2 Chronicles chapter 22, verse 1. And the inhabitants of Jerusalem made Ahaziah, the youngest son, king in his stead. For the band of men that came with the Arabians.
Came with who?
The Arabians.
Read.
To the camp had slain all the eldest.
See what the Arabians did? They had slain all the eldest children. Read.
So Ahaziah, the son of Jehoram, king of Judah, reigned.
Right. Now give me Nehemiah chapter 4 and verse 1. Okay, now we're going to go to the Persian captivity. We're going to see who again came up against us.
The book of Nehemiah chapter 4 verse 1. But it came to pass when Sanballat heard that we builded the wall, he was wroth and took great indignation and mocked the Jews. And he spake before his brethren and the army of Samaria and said, what do these feeble Jews? Will they fortify themselves? Will they sacrifice? Will they make an end in a day? Will they revive the stones out of the heaps of the rubbish which are burned? Now Tobiah, the Ammonite, was by him. And he said, even that which they build, if a fox go up, he shall even break down their stone walls.
So we can see the nations, they despise that we was rebuilding the temple, okay? This was during the time of the Persian captivity when King Cyrus gave us liberty to go back and rebuild. All right, you had Ezra, Nehemiah, Zerubbabel, Haggai, Zechariah, all these mighty prophets played a part in the rebuilding of the temple, okay? Read on.
Hear, O our God, for we are despised, and turn their reproach upon their own head, and give them for a prey in the land of captivity.
Read on.
And cover not their iniquity, and let not their sin be blotted out from before thee. For they have provoked thee to anger before the builders.
Read.
So built we the wall, and all the wall was joined together unto the half thereof. For the people had a mind to work.
And that's us today. The people have a mind to work. This is what you see the bishops, the deacons, the captains, all praises to the Most High through the Spirit of Christ. We're rebuilding the temple spiritually. We are rebuilding the nation of Israel. All right? That's what you see going on today. Okay? Read.
But it came to pass that when Sanballat and Tobiah and the Arabians.
And the who?
And the Arabians.
There goes again Ishmael in the midst. The Arabians. Read.
And the Ammonites and the Ashdodites heard that the walls of Jerusalem were made up and that the breaches began to be stopped, then they were very wroth.
They were angry. They were angry because we were rebuilding. We wanted to separate ourselves from the other nations. They were angry. Likewise today, this is why they get mad. This is why they hate our guts, especially the Israelites, because we preach against all of them, all nations. We aren't on nobody's side. We on God's side. All right, read on.
And conspired all of them together to come and to fight against Jerusalem.
That's that Psalms 83, that crafty counsel, that great tumult. Read that verse again.
And conspired all of them together to come and to fight against Jerusalem and to hinder it.
And to do what?
To hinder it.
This is how you know that the Arabs is dealing with the spirit of Satan. Yes, we say Edom, Satan is running through Edom, but it's not just Edom. It's all the nations, right? Give me that in 1 Thessalonians 2:18. It said, and conspired all of them together to come and fight against Jerusalem and to hinder it. Watch this, 1 Thessalonians 2:18.
The book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 2, verse 18. Wherefore we would have come unto you, even I, Paul, once again.
Come on.
But Satan.
But who?
But Satan hindered us. For what is our hope?
There you go. For Satan hindered us. I'm telling you, the spirit of Satan is in the Arabs, man.
Hey,
go ahead.
Also, Razz, we were at camp on last week Sunday, and we were out teaching. Who came out and told us to leave, to get off the property?
Yes, right. Hey, that's a good point, officer. Bro, we go to the worst hoods in Austin, right?
Right.
So we go to this neighborhood. It's a trap spot, doped out. You got prostitution, drug dealers, gangbangers, all of that, right? And there's a corner store. It's the main corner store, and Ishmael runs that corner store. All of that is going in the midst of that community. You got the dope dealers on his corner selling dope, doing the prostitutes, all of that evil. All of that evil. We set up shop. We open up camp. The dirty Arab had the nerve to tell us we got to pack up and go. We got to leave. Bruh, that pissed me the hell off. I said, yo, I turned back. I said, yo, tell them call the cops.
Right.
Call the cops. We ain't going nowhere.
That's right.
We turned that mic up and we started going in on them, man.
That's right.
We started going in on Ishmael and on the Arabs, man. And guess what happened? He ain't do nothing.
Nothing.
He ain't do nothing to us. We kept preaching. We kept teaching. Thus saith the Lord.
That's right.
The hell wrong with these Arabs, man? Had a nerve to try to kick us off the block. Arab pissed me the hell off, man. I'm glad, hey, man, you in the spirit, man. That thing pissed me off, man. I was hot. All right, give me that 1 Maccabees 5:31. Now we're going to the Greek captivity. This is when the Mattathias, the Maccabees family, man, Judas Maccabees, we was at war with the Greeks. We was putting the Greeks to flight. Guess who was in the midst of that stuff, man? 1 Maccabees chapter 5:31.
The book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 5, verse 31. When Judas therefore saw that the battle was begun, and that the cry of the city went up to heaven with trumpets and a great sound, he said unto his host, fight this day for your brethren. So he went forth behind them in 3 companies, who sounded their trumpets and cried with prayer.
Watch this.
Then the host of Timotheus.
So Timotheus was a general, a Greek general in the Seleucid army, if I'm correct. Yes, in the Seleucid army, right? Read on.
Knowing that it was Maccabeus, fled from him. Wherefore he smote them with a great slaughter.
So Judas Maccabees was putting them to flight, man. The Levites was putting them boys to flight, putting Esau to flight. Read.
So that there were killed of them that day about 8,000 men.
Watch this, read.
This done, Judas turned aside to Mizpah, and after he had assaulted it, he took it and slew all the males therein, and received the spoils thereof, and burnt it with fire.
So Judas went to another city, started wreaking havoc in that city, took all the spoils, right? Read.
From thence went he, and took Cashphon.
He took Cashphon, come on.
Meged.
Read.
Bosor.
Read.
And the other cities of the country of Galad.
So the Judas Maccabees and the Israelites, that little help, they was going around putting Esau to flight, putting Timotheus to flight. All right, getting much victories. But watch this, read on.
After these things, gathered Timotheus another host.
So he had to go get reinforcements. He had to get backup. Read.
And encamped against Rephan, beyond the brook.
Come on.
So Judas sent men to espy the host, who brought him word, saying, all the heathen.
Who?
All the heathen.
All the heathen. Read.
That be round about us are assembled unto them, even a very great host.
Watch this.
He have also hired the Arabians.
The who?
The Arabians.
So Ishmael once again is in the midst, going to war with the Israelites. Always going to war with us, man. Always in the midst trying to hinder us, trying to stop us, trying to fight against us. So why in the hell is you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans following after Islam, following after the Arabians, following after this Muslim religion, man? Read.
To help them, and they have pitched their tents beyond the brook, ready to come and fight against thee. Upon this, Judas went to meet them.
There you go. So once again, you see the Arabs coming up against us, joining hand in hand with the other nations to fight against the true Israelites, the chosen people of God.
That's right.
All right? Give me Acts chapter 2, verse 5. Now we're going to the New Testament. It don't stop. Ishmael, I'm telling you, man, Ishmael, bro. That's why the Lord put him as number 2, because the Lord has not forgot all the evil that this man has done to his people. Acts chapter 2 and verse 5.
The book of Acts, chapter 2, verse 5. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven.
So there was Jews out of every nation. This was during the time of Pentecost, right? Deuteronomy 16:16 says, 3 times a year all the males must come before the Lord, right? So you had Israelites scattered throughout the 4 corners of the earth. Let's see where they were scattered out of. Read, jump down to verse 9.
Verse 9. Parthians and Medes and Elamites and the dwellers of Mesopotamia and in Judea and Cappadocia, in Pontus and Asia,
Read.
Phrygia and Pamphylia, in Egypt, and in the parts of Libya about Cyrene.
Come on.
And strangers of Rome, Jews and proselytes.
Watch this.
Cretes and Arabians.
And what?
And Arabians.
And what?
And Arabians.
Read.
We do hear them speak in our tongues the wonderful works of God.
So why would there be Israelites scattered in Arabia? Because the Arabians had us in slavery.
Right.
They had us in slavery. Give me that in Galatians chapter 1. The Arabs had us in slavery. That's why Jews was coming from out of Arabia.
The book of Galatians, chapter 1, verse 17. Neither went I up to Jerusalem to them which were apostles before me.
This is Paul.
But I went into Arabia.
You went where?
Into Arabia.
Come on.
And returned again unto Damascus.
So why would Paul go and teach in Arabia? Because there was Israelites scattered in Arabia.
Right.
Ishmael always had their hand in our slavery, man. Ishmael always had their hand in our slavery. Okay, so we showed you biblical times when Ishmael was warring against us, how they was fighting against us. Now we're going to go deal with historically, right? With more modern time, how Ishmael always was against us and how they had us in slavery. I'm telling you, after this, all you brothers, all you sisters need to leave the Muslim religion, man.
Right.
Come out of that garbage because they've done much, much, much evil to us. And we're going to expose all of it today. All right? Give me the Wikipedia, History of Islam. Scroll down. Read that real quick. Read that.
The history of Islam concerns the political, social, economic, military, and cultural developments of the Islamic civilization.
All right, scroll down. There's only one point I want in that. Scroll down. Right there. Read that. The first line. Yep.
According to the traditional account, the Islamic prophet Muhammad began receiving what Muslims consider to be divine revelations in 610 CE.
Stop. So Muhammad created the Islam religion in 610 CE. That's 610 years after Christ.
Right.
This is a new religion. This stuff is new stuff on the earth. The Bible, the prophets, we've been here long way before Muhammad and this Arab religion, man. Give me that in Deuteronomy 32:17.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 17. They sacrificed unto devils, not to God.
That's what we saw with that tip bar. They sacrificed unto devils, not to God, not to the one true God. Read.
To gods whom they knew not. To new gods.
To what?
To new gods.
Islam is a new religion. It's a new God. Allah is a new God. What are y'all doing following this stuff, man? Y'all look crazy as hell following after the Arab religion. We the only nation that follows after other nations' religions. To new gods, right? Read.
To new gods that came newly up, whom your fathers feared not.
Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob did not fear these gods. They did not follow after these gods. These false religions, man. All right, so pull up the book. Shout out to the bishop, the general, Nathaniel. Bishop Nathaniel, the general.
That's right.
All right, we got this book from him, man. All praise to the Most. I'm telling y'all brothers have not been watching Shout Out Tuesday. Shame on you. I'm telling you, shit. This is where you think I'm getting all these. Where you think I'm getting all these bangers from, man? Shout Out Tuesday, man. That's my. Y'all know I love Shout Out Tuesday, man. All right, so let's open up the book. All right, page 1. All right, let's blow that up.
Lower it just a little bit. When the Prophet Muhammad brought the message of Allah to his followers in the 7th century, slavery was already a deeply rooted and widely accepted institution in that part of the world. Pre-Islamic Arabia and Egypt were terminal points of well-traveled slave trade circuits, some of the most important of which originated in the Sudan and Somalia. Bilad as-Sudan, the land of the blacks, had for time immemorial attracted slave raiders who found a ready demand for their captives in nearby Egypt.
What is nearby Egypt? The land of Israel.
Right.
Okay, this is where they was getting this. They know that the Hamites, they're not the children of Israel. All right, those are Nilotes, those are Ham. They know that. Right? Read on.
A brief reference contained in the annals.
All right, stop. Read the further northwest along. Read that part.
Further northwest along the Horn of Africa was.
Go to the next page. Yep.
Ethiopia, another rich catchment area for slaves.
Who's in Ethiopia? We read it in Acts 2. Slaves scattered abroad. Right? Read.
Habashas, the name given to the Ethiopians by the Arabs, filled the slave markets of Mecca.
Of where?
Of Mecca.
Come on.
Returning great profits to the merchants who put up their capital to trade in them.
Read.
It was not surprising that Muhammad, who accepted the existing socio-political order.
You hear that? Muhammad accepted the existing social-political order. He accepted it. He understood it. Read.
Looked upon slavery as a part of the natural order of things.
You hear that? Muhammad accepted the slave. Bro, this is crazy, man. Y'all brothers claim Muhammad. Y'all love Muhammad. This dude accepted slavery. He accepted the death of your people, man. Go to the next page, page 3.
Yet centuries before the first ship flying the flag of a European country slipped out from one of the numerous inlets along Africa's west coast laden with human cargo, the peoples of North Africa, Arabia, and the Persian Gulf were forcibly transferring large numbers of blacks down the Nile.
That's Israelites. Read.
To Egypt and across the network of the vast Saharan trade routes from West and Central Africa to the countries of the Maghreb.
All right, so we can get a visual. Pull up the green map. Pull up the green map so we could get a visual so the people could see the vast region of what Ishmael has conquered. Okay? So pull that up and look, it says, I'm going to start from the so-called Middle East, right? Syria, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Osman, Yemen, right? You got the Jordan, Lebanon, Palestine. Palestine is part of their region, okay? Then you got, then they went westward, Egypt, Sudan, Somalia, Libya, Algeria, Morocco, West Saharan, Mauritania. What the hell is Arabs doing in Africa? How do they have that much land on control in Africa? Because they was putting our people to flight. They raped, robbed, and murdered our people. And now they own these regions. There's some crazy stuff. Put a map back up. Let it sink in. Let it sink in for the Negro in America, the Hispanic in America, so they can see. Right. Okay, this is what they did their trade through these regions. All right, and we know in Africa that's us, because we in 70 AD we fled into Africa and we started building civilizations, colonies, kingdoms in Africa. And we took over the Nilotes and we started to rule these regions.
Right.
So the Arabs and the Hamites came together and conquered us. All right. So drop that. Go back to the book.
All right. Lower it. Okay. And decades after the last slave ship sailed westward to the Americas and the West Indies, where slavery had been abolished by the early 1870s, Arab dhows were...
Arab dhows. It's going to explain what those dhows are, right? Read on.
Leave it down. Arab dhows were furtively moving out of Zanzibar, Mombasa, and other East African ports, following the familiar Indian Ocean routes for the consignment of ebony. The masters of these fast laden rigged ships.
What? The master what?
The masters of these fast lateen rigged ships.
So a dhow is a slave ship. Pull up the image. Pull up the image. Yep, there you go. Pull that up. Let it sink in for the Negro. They had us on the bottom of the ship was full of slaves. Full of slaves packed like sardines. This is what the Arabs was doing, man. Some evil stuff. So why in the hell are you claiming to be Muslim? This stuff should piss you off, man. You should want nothing to do with these Arabs after seeing all this, after going through all this history. The Arabs done much evil to us. Much evil. All right, go back to the book. Blow it up. The masters.
The masters of these fast lateen rigged ships, which were methodically packed in sardine-like fashion with men, women, and children, maneuvered skillfully in evading the small force of British sloops charged with the impossible mission of interdicting this illicit traffic. The blacks caught up in this trade were fated to be sold in
fated to be what?
Fated to be sold in the slave marts of Arabia, the Persian Gulf, the Ottoman Empire, and India.
Right, so it says Arabia, the Persian Gulf, the Ottoman, that's Edom. That's Edom, the Ottoman Empire, and India, Elam. All right? Now put me the other map up. Put up the other map so we can see the trade route. There you go. There you go. Look at the trade route. They was taking us from all different parts of Africa and scattering us all throughout the earth, man. Give me that in Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 64. Leave that on the screen. Do picture in picture. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 64. Read.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods.
We shall do what?
Serve other gods.
Come on.
Which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
That's that Christianity and that's that Islam. It says we'll be scattered. Look at the screen. We will be scattered. They scatter us through the four corners of the earth. The Indian Ocean African slave trade. A lot of our people don't know this history right here. They don't know this history. Okay? All right. Give me Deuteronomy 28, 68.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And
you
the Lord,
could drop it, y'all. You could drop it.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt,
into slavery
again with ships.
With what?
With ships.
The Arabs fulfill this. They did this. Read.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
Read.
And there,
once we got off them slave ships, what happened?
Ye shall be sold.
Ye shall be what?
Sold.
Ye shall be what?
Sold.
Go back to the book. Go back the other page. Yep, go back. Read the bottom. Read the bottom. It says we shall be what?
The blacks caught up in this trade were fated to be sold.
To be what?
Sold.
Go back to the Bible. Go back to the Bible. Read.
And there ye shall be sold.
Ye shall be what?
Sold.
Read.
Unto your enemies.
To who?
Your enemies.
To our enemies. Read.
For bondmen and bondwomen. And no man shall buy you.
And no man shall redeem you. So many leaders have risen up, tried to redeem us, and they failed. Do we got the image, the graphic that we use for camp of the African revolutionary leaders? Pull that up if you can find it, IT. Quick. All right, read Deuteronomy 28, verse 68 one more time.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Into slavery, come on.
With ships.
Read.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold.
Ye shall be sold. This is what happened to us, man. These are the atrocities that happen to us, and nobody wants to talk about it. How come the Arabs don't go to your community and teach this to you and let you know and say, hey, we're sorry for the evils that we've done to you, for all the oppression that we have done to you. We're sorry for that. Read it again.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
These people are our enemies. They're not your friend. They don't love you. All they want is to take your money from you. That's all they want. They want to take your money from you. They want you to serve them, to be inferior to them. Come on.
Unto your enemies for bondmen,
for slave men,
and bondwomen.
Come on.
And no man shall buy you.
And no man shall buy. Put it on the screen. Put it for the people. Put it on the screen. Read that.
African revolutionaries, Kwame Nkrumah, Patrice Lumumba.
No, read where he was from. Where? From Ghana?
Kwame Nkrumah, Ghana, 1957 to 1972, exiled. Patrice Lumumba, Congo, 1958 through 1961, executed. Thomas Sankara, Burkina Faso, 1983 through 1987, assassinated.
Come on.
Chris Haney, South African, 1991 through 1993, assassinated. Steve Biko, South Africa, 1968 through 1977, beaten to death.
Wow. Wow. So scroll down. Let's look at the images. This was the scramble for Africa. That's what's
Leopold.
it? Yeah, Leopold. And the Congos did much evil. Much evil. Scroll, look, zoom in where they cut their hands off. Did much evil, man. Look at the slave ship. The yokes of iron on our neck. This is what the Arabs and the white man did. The scramble for Africa. Okay? All right, so go back to the book. Go back to the book, page 4.
The sale of so many slaves from different parts of Muslim Africa, as well as from India and Java, helped assure a continuing rich and varied supply of servile labor in the slave markets of Mecca and Jeddah. Pilgrims arriving from Iraq, Syria, Persia, and other parts of the Middle East frequented these markets, and many brought back with them newly purchased slaves.
Wow. Wow. Give me Joel chapter 3, verse 3. Joel chapter 3, verse 3, man.
The book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 3. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine.
So it says they're giving a boy for a harlot. When you do the history with the Arab slave trade, they was not big on using the males for sex slaves. They was castrating us, man. They was cutting off our rod. I'm telling you, the evil that Ishmael done, they're going to pay for all the evil they have done. And you blacks that's joined hand in hand with them, I'm telling you, y'all better come out because death is coming to you too.
Right.
The Lord has not forgot the evils that they have done. Read.
And sold a girl for wine.
They did that. The Arabs definitely did that. Read.
That they might drink.
Come on.
Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon?
Tyre and Zidon are ancient Hamitic tribes. Today is Lebanon. It's the region of Lebanon. Read.
And all the coasts of Palestine.
The Palestinian, I'm telling you these, and y'all want to pray for Palestine, right? We're going to show you what these Palestinians with Hamas and the Gaza and the West Bank, what they doing to our brothers over there. We're going to show you some evil stuff, man. Okay? It said, and all the coast of Palestine, read.
Will ye render me a recompense? And if you recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head.
Watch this.
Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things.
They stole all our resources, all our gold, all our resources in Africa they stole. Read.
The children also of Judah.
The southern kingdom, come on.
And the children of Jerusalem.
Read.
Have ye sold?
Have you what?
Sold.
Have you what?
Sold unto the Grecians.
So the Arabs had a part to play in our slavery. The Hamites and the Grecians, the Edomites, the so-called white men, they all had a hand in our destruction, in our enslavement. Read.
that ye might remove them far from their border.
That's what we read in Deuteronomy 28, verse 64. They removed us from our borders. Go to the next page of the book.
Eldon Rudder, who spent a great part of his life in Saudi Arabia and wrote sympathetically about the country in his book, The Holy Cities of Arabia, said in a lecture delivered to the Royal Asian Society in London in 1933.
This was an Edomite, y'all. Read.
Slavery exists in every part of Arabia.
Read that again.
Slavery exists in every part of Arabia.
Come on.
Except Aden.
Read.
As a normal social institution. But I have only seen one slave market where slaves are displayed in a public place like merchandise. This was in Mecca in a narrow street called Suq el-Abid.
Right, so in Mecca, that's where the Negro got to go do his Hajj once in his lifetime. All the Arabs, they got to go do a Hajj in their lifetime. It said Mecca was the biggest slave port, all right? Pull up the pictures of Mecca. Pull up the pictures of Mecca real quick. This is where they will make you go. Pull it on the screen for the people. This is where they will make you go and do your Hajj, okay? But this was the biggest slave port. The biggest slave port in Arabia was this place right here, Mecca. All right, go to the next picture. This is what they would make you do. You see that? Make you kiss the damn stone, the filthy, dirty stone. Okay? They'll make you kiss the stone. Idolatry. Go to the next picture. What does this mean, kissing of the stone? What does it mean? Right? Let's read that.
Kissing the black stone is an act of worship.
It's a what?
An act of worship.
Because you'll talk to brothers in the street and they tell you, no, that's not idolatry. Kissing the rock is not idolatry. Anything you worship is a form of idolatry. If you're not worshiping the one true God, the God of the Israelites, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you are in the midst of idolatry.
Right.
Read that again.
Kissing the black stone is an act of worship in which a Muslim kisses a stone to which he has no connection except worshiping Allah by venerating it and following the messenger of Allah by doing that.
You see that? By kissing the stone. All right, give me that Jeremiah 3:2 now. Let's get that, man. This is some evil stuff. Some evil stuff that these Arabs have done, and they got to pay for this, man. They're not getting off the hook. No, sir. Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 2.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 3, verse 2. Lift up thine eyes unto the high places and see where thou hast not been lying with.
Been lying with means corrupted. Come on.
In the ways hast thou sat for them as the Arabian in the wilderness.
You see that? We sat for them like in the wilderness for the Arabians. When you examine a classroom, right? What do you see? It's the teacher is giving the lecture and the students are sitting down taking notes. That's how we was for the Arabians. Okay, that's how we learned Islam. That's how we learned about Allah and this Muslim religion. We sat down for the Arabians, right? Read.
And thou hast polluted the land with thy whoredoms and with thy wickedness.
You hear that? We have polluted the lands with our whoredoms. But by what? By kissing that damn rock, worshiping that rock. All right? Play this video. This is us polluting the land with the whoredoms and with our wickedness. Why? This is that rapper that we were talking about earlier, Kevin Gates, right? Watch this.
Lieutenant right here. Clear this so me and my wife kissed the black stone. Good man. He a whole lieutenant. He first met me, he said, we all blood. You Muslim, we blood.
Pause. He said when he first met him, he said, we all blood. You Muslim, you blood. How come he didn't tell you that Mecca was the largest slave market? Right. How come he ain't tell you that? Right. How come he didn't tell you he castrated men and how they raped women and sold children? How come they didn't tell you that? I'm telling you, man, don't never trust thine enemy. Never. Play on.
What? Everybody here eat.
Everybody equal, yeah. That's all right. Put it back on it. Go, run it back. Run it back. Look at that. Simple. This is him kissing the black stone. This is your favorite rapper. Everybody love Kevin Gates. But he did this and then, pause it. So he did this and then guess what he went back to? Smoking dope, making music about killing niggas, right? Prostituting your women, flashing jewelry, tatted up, all that. But Allah, we all one. Peace be to Allah. I'm telling you, they don't do nothing what the Quran said. They don't do nothing what the real Arab, the Sunni and the Shiites do. They don't do none of that stuff. All right, play on. All right, drop that. Give me Leviticus 26:1. Leviticus 26:1. Bro, they simple as hell, man. I'm telling you, these Muslims look at them and they're like, yo, these dudes are dumb as hell. We're going to keep oppressing your people. That's what they say. Right? Read.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 26 and verse 1. Ye shall make you no idols, nor graven images, neither rear up you a standing image, neither shall ye set up any image of stone.
Of what?
Of stone.
Or Kaaba stone, read.
In your land, to bow down to it. For I am the Lord your God.
You've seen it in the video. That's what they do. They bow down and kiss it. Worship this thing. Not understanding that the same Arabs that been oppressing your people for hundreds of years. Okay? Give me Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 27.
You know, it's funny.
Yeah, go ahead. Also, go ahead.
It's funny that even in the
Quran,
Quran, it tells you to follow the Torah. You know, you're supposed to follow the teachings of Moses.
Right.
We just read a teaching of Moses.
Right, there you go.
You know, and yet, what do? And they just said, I just watched the class, that's the 10th iteration of the Kaaba stone.
Wow.
That ain't even that original rock that fell down.
That's not even the original rock. Yeah. I tell you, bro, our people foolish, man. Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 27.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, verse 27. Saying to a stock, thou art my father. And to a stone.
And to a what?
And to a stone.
Come on.
Thou hast brought me forth. For they have turned their back unto me, and not their face.
And that's what we have done. We have turned our back from the one true God. And then we want to wonder why we still catching hell. Wonder why our communities are plagued with drugs and gang violence and STDs and single-parent household. It's because we following after the other nations, man.
Right.
Read.
And not their face. But in the time of their trouble.
Of their what?
In the time of their trouble, they will say, arise and save us.
They're going to call upon the one true God, the God of Israel. Arise and save us. When they're really going through trouble, they're not calling on Allah.
Right.
They call on the one true God of Israel. Right? Read.
But where are thy gods?
But God's going to say, where's your gods? Right? Read.
That thou hast made thee. Let them arise, if they can save thee in the time of thy trouble. For according to the number of the cities are thy gods, O Judah.
But you see what God's going to tell him? He's like, you calling upon me, where's your gods? Let those gods save you. You turn your back on me. Let those gods save you. When ish hits the fan, let Allah save you. Let that Kaaba stone save you. Let white man Jesus save you. Let Buddha save you.
Right.
Let Krishna save you. When it goes down. Let them say, you want to worship them? You've been worshiping them your whole life? Let them save you. Don't call upon me now when you're in trouble. This is why the Lord has given us time to repent now, Israel.
That's right.
Get your mind right now. Cleanse your ways. Come back to the one true God of Israel. Come back to your heritage, like we read earlier. All right? Give me 1 Chronicles chapter 16, verse 23.
The book of 1 Chronicles, chapter 16, verse 23. Sing unto the Lord, all the earth. Show forth from day to day his salvation.
Come on.
Declare his glory among the heathen.
Read.
His marvelous works among all nations.
Watch this.
For great is the Lord and greatly to be praised.
Come on.
He also is to be feared above all gods.
He's supposed to be what?
Feared above all gods.
The one true God is supposed to be feared above all gods. Read.
For all the gods of the people are idols.
They're all idols. They're not real. Allah's not real. Islam is not real. Muslims are not real. That religion is false. It is not real. They're all idols. Read.
But the Lord made the heavens.
But the one true God of Israel, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob made the heavens. Why
That's
would
right.
I not want to follow this, man?
Right. We were at camp that New Year's Day. We had that long camp.
So-called New Year's Day.
Yeah, so-called New Year's Day. Thank you for that. And this brother came out with a Quran,
and Officer Lishua challenged him and said, where are the prophecies? He's going to read something. And I was like, wait a minute. Your religion didn't come around till 611.
Yeah.
You wrote history of the stuff you learned from being around our forefathers.
There you go.
No prophecies in that whack book.
There ain't no prophecies in the Quran. They don't even, I seen the video. The dude had the Quran, never even opened
never
it.
opened it.
Never even
He didn't
opened
know
the
where to
thing.
go with it.
He was just, that thing was all dusty, falling apart. I'm like, bro, what is this dude doing, bro? Dude look crazy. I tell people bug the hell out, man. You need to come out of that. Stop the cap. Stop the cap. All right, let's go back to the book. Go back to the book, page 6.
African slaves played a useful role in accompanying their masters on the arduous pilgrimage to Mecca, known as the Hajj.
We just went over that. We just seen a video of that, right? Come on.
This act is incumbent upon all Muslims who are possessed with the means to carry out such a journey. Its purpose is to provide Muslims with a conception of Islam as a universal religion and the consciousness of sharing a common religious heritage.
Right, so we just seen that. We just seen a video of that, okay? Go to
That's the same thing that Catholicism says.
Yeah.
Universal.
Universal, yeah. I'm telling you, Muslim, the watered down Muslim is the new Christianity. That's what it is. It's the new Christianity. Okay? Go to the next page. Read that top part.
Slavery exists in every part of Arabia except Aden as a normal social institution, but I have only seen one slave market where slaves are displayed in a public place like merchandise.
I wanted to deal with that. Deuteronomy chapter 24, verse 7, like merchandise. Okay? Some evil stuff, man. I'm telling you, shame on you so-called brothers that's in Islam, man. Shame on you. Because all this evil, and you still, a lot of these brothers ain't going to turn from it. Because you know what they say about the Israelites? We too strict.
Yeah.
Because we apply what the Bible says. We do what this Bible says. So I'm good off that. I can still be a Muslim. I can still smoke my weed. Still sleep with hoes. I could go to the club. I could get tattoos. I could do all this evil in Islam. Why would I want to come and follow you Israelites? All right, read that.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 24, verse 7. If a man be found stealing any of his brethren of the children of Israel, and maketh merchandise of him, maketh merchandise of him, or selleth him,
or what?
Or selleth him.
That's what these Arabs did. They made merchandise of us and they sold us. Read.
Then that thief shall die.
Shall what?
Shall die.
That's the judgment for these nations. I'm telling you, the Lord, remember, he said he's going to give recompense on them, man. That's the judgment for these nations. Read.
And thou shalt put evil away from among you.
Right. Hey, don't shoot the messengers. Give me Bible.
That's right.
That's Bible right there. Okay, let's go back to the book. All right, read that. Racism. Yeah.
Racism, which as we shall later see, was evident in Arab practices and attitudes toward Africans.
That's us, the Israelites. When it says Africans in the book, it's referring to the Israelites. All right, read that.
That slavery persisted as long as it did in the Muslim world. It was only abolished in Saudi Arabia in 1962 and as late as 1981 in Mauritania, owed much to the fact that it was deeply anchored in Islamic law.
Wow, so it says it was abolished in 1962 and in 1980. That's not too long ago, right? That's not too long ago.
No.
But guess what? We're going to show you that it's still happening to this very day.
That's right.
Drop the book. Drop the book, all right? Pull up the video. The Khalifa system. The Khalifa system. Pull that up, all right? Slavery is still going on in these Arab regions to this very day. Watch, there's some evil stuff. And sisters, I'm telling you, sisters want to go to Dubai, right? They want to go to Dubai. You see what happened to that one sister? She opened up her big black mouth against the Arab man. They said, lock her ass up. Lock her ass up. Okay, I'm telling you, there's some evil stuff what they doing to our sisters, man. I'm telling you, sisters, don't deal with these Arab men. All right, sisters, especially
in see how they really feel about you.
Yep, in New York, they be making these sisters just to get Pampers and diapers. They be blowing these sisters' backs out in New York. I'm telling you, some evil stuff go on, man. All right, watch what they doing to our sisters over there in Libya and in Lebanon in these regions. Play this.
We need our passport. We need a good place. So please give us our salary. We are working for our home. Say no to business. Say no to
Pause it, pause it. Take off the disclaimer. Take off the disclaimer. Cause the people need to see this. All right? Read it. Play it.
These former domestic workers say they were treated like slaves by their employers while living in Lebanon. Fatma Kante is one of them. In 2019, she left her home in Sierra Leone to work, only to regret it soon after. Modern day slavery in Lebanon.
I was totally tight in the house. Everything was just a hell for me in the house. I was beaten by their daughter. She shot on me. She do so many things for me. I will never complain, because even if I complain, there's no one to take up my case.
Her employer withheld her wages for almost a year.
Too much. My boss wake me up 6 o'clock in the morning. I work till 1 a.m. at night. Was not expecting this life to be in Lebanon. It was hell for me.
I am sick, madam, please let me rest today. She said, no, I am slave. You are a slave. You will not rest. You're going to work.
My madam used to shout on me. She used to even slap me sometimes when I do something wrong to her. The worst is that they don't pay your salary. Even though you work very hard for them, they will never pay you.
After 11 months, Fatmata
I planned my escape in the house. I escaped at the middle of night. I don't even know where I'm going, but I pray. I ask God to save my life through my escape.
All right, pause it. So as you can see, slavery is still going on in the Middle East, all right? Slavery's still going on, and this is in Lebanon, man. This is in Lebanon. This is some evil stuff, okay? And it's sad. It's heartbreaking to see that our brothers and our sisters are still going through this, man. This is why we need the support of the Booster Club. We need the support of the body to help us so we can reach these people. We can reach our brothers and sisters scattered in these different regions, all right? The Afro-Turks, the Afro-Syrians, the Afro-Palestinians, right? Okay? The Afro-Yemenis, yep. All our brothers are scattered over there. Our sisters, they need us, man. The nation is depending on us, man. That's why we gotta go. Brothers, get your passports. Get your passports. Get ready, because it's wartime, man. It's a spiritual war, and as soon as getting physical, man. They're really coming for us. They're destroying us left and right. So we gotta gird up, get our minds ready, prepare for this spiritual war that we are in. Okay? Pull up the next video in Libya. So the book tried to say slavery in these regions ended in 1961, 1981. No, right. It's still going on.
It's still going on. How do you see this stuff, today, and you still profess that religion when your people are the ones that's being enslaved?
Bro, that's a good point, officer. That's a very good point. How in the hell can you sit there and claim to be Islam, to be a Muslim, when you see the oppression of your people? This stuff infuriates me. It should light a fire in you to want to go and do something, right? Give me that in Ecclesiastes 7:7, sir, real quick. And we don't condone violence. We don't condone none of that stuff. But this stuff needs to put a spirit on you to go and wake your people up. Go teach your people. That's what it should do. Okay, read that.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 7.
Come on.
Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart.
And a gift destroyeth the heart. And that's what they do. They give you that gift with that Islam, peace, love, but they trying to oppress you. Okay.
They gave them sisters a gift.
Yep.
Come over here and work.
Yep.
Come over here, and guess what?
It destroyed them. Yep. Oppression. All right, pull up that video.
This is not where these migrants want to be, heading back to the African continent, thanks to aid from the Italian government to reinforce Libya's coast guard. It's helped cut the number of migrants arriving in Italy to under 22,000 in the last 3 months. It's the lowest total for 4 years. But people trafficking networks in Libya continue to flourish because of government chaos as rival groups battle for power. These Ivorians, repatriated to the Ivory Coast from Libya, say they risk being sold into slavery.
They sell Africans over there. In Libya, they sell men. Even 15-year-old Libyans are there in a car, they're armed. They'll come and kidnap you, and they'll sell you for $70 to $150. And then
wow,
others will
children,
resell you.
pause. You got young Arab children with AK-47s running up on grown men, putting them in slavery, man. Some evil stuff. And like I said, when they say Africans, understand, they're talking about the Israelites, the Bantus. They know the difference between the Bantus and the Nilotes.
Right.
They know the difference. They're not putting, yeah, you might have a few sprinkled in the Nilotes, but no, it's the Bantus. It's the children of Israel that's getting enslaved. All right? Understand that. Okay? Play on.
As soon as you arrive in Libya, the first thing that happens is that you are taken away and sold. Our black brothers from West Africa, wherever you are from, a Malian, a Senegalese, or any other nationality from the West, even an Ivorian, you are sold. And for what?
Wow.
$700.
But these migrants will tell you that life is so hard in their home country that it's worth almost any risk to make a new start in Europe.
Now, with the advent of the smartphone and with Facebook and others pushing into Africa, a youngster can meet a smuggler in 2 seconds on a phone. Now, nothing is being done to challenge that. They think they're following a dream to Europe. They end up in the maw, in the grip of these rapacious smugglers.
Despite increased patrols, the UN says more than 160,000 people have made it across the Mediterranean to Europe this year. About 3,000 have drowned en route.
Wow.
Bernard Smith, Al Jazeera.
All right, take that down. Give me Baruch chapter 3, verse 8. Baruch chapter 3, verse 8, man. This is some sad stuff. And you have, like you said, officer, how in the hell can you claim to follow the Arab man's religion when you know all these atrocities is happening to your people? Okay, read that.
The book of Baruch, chapter 3, verse 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity.
Our brothers are still in captivity in Libya, all right? In Lebanon, they still in captivity in all these different regions of Africa where the Arabs have control. Our brothers and sisters are still in captivity. Read on.
Where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse.
Come on.
And to be subject to payments according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our God.
Right. So but let's pull up that video. The next video. We got to make it. We cut and press for time. Pull up the video. Fast forward a little bit.
In the Islamic lands to which they had once been sent in great numbers. Their importation was drastically reduced in the early decades of the 19th century, when Tsarist Russia conquered the Caucasus, from which European slaves were being shipped to the Ottoman Empire. However, as late as the 1850s, orders against the traffic in white slaves from Russian-controlled Georgia and Circassia were being issued by the Ottoman government. By the end of the 19th century...
Pause. So you hear about white slaves, and I'm telling you, Jake fell off the horse. Yep. Did they see whites? They had white people, but that was a small minority. That was a small percentage, okay? And then they ended up stopped doing it because the whites, you know, Esau don't play that stuff. Right. Esau going to fight for their people, and they ended up taking over Ishmael. All right? Play on.
White slaves had virtually disappeared, except in Arabia, while black slavery was not abolished in most Islamic countries until the period between the two world wars of the 20th century, and still existed in Mauritania and the Sudan at the end of the 20th century. The horrors of the Atlantic voyage in packed and suffocating slave ships, together with exposure to new diseases from Europeans and other African tribes, as well as the general dangers of the Atlantic crossing in that era, took a toll in lives amounting to about 10% of all slaves shipped to the Western Hemisphere in British vessels in the 18th century, the British being the leading slave traders of that era. However, the death toll among slaves imported by the Islamic countries, many of these slaves being forced to walk across the vast burning sands of the Sahara, was twice as high. Thousands of human skeletons were strewn along one Saharan slave route alone, mostly the skeletons of young women and girls. These skeletons tended to cluster in the vicinity of wells, suggesting the last desperate efforts to reach water. Slaves who could not keep up with the caravans, often because their feet had swollen from walking across the hot sands, were abandoned in the desert to die a lingering death from heat, thirst, and hunger. In 1849, a letter from an Ottoman official referred to 1,600 black slaves dying of thirst on their way to Libya. On another route, it was said that someone unfamiliar with the desert might almost be able to find his way just by following the trail of skeletons of people and camels.
Pause. So it said you could find your way just following the skeletons of the people and camel. Just like in the transatlantic slave trade with the sharks, they would throw the bodies over the boat, and the sharks could find their way by following after the blood, dead bodies.
Migration, yep.
Yep. The same thing with this. Wow. Some crazy stuff, man. Play on.
Widespread loss of life began with the initial slave raids. As late as 1886, an Austrian who was an apologist for slavery nevertheless reported, "Negro villages are burned, all the men killed, and their women and children are taken on months-long, terrible marches." The march from slave-gathering areas, like the region around Lake Chad, across the Sahara Desert to the Mediterranean Sea, took about 3 months, and often only the strongest survived. Other slave routes to Islamic countries were over water, but this meant risking interception by the British Navy, and that in turn often meant that slaves were thrown overboard to drown rather than being allowed to remain on board to be discovered as incriminating evidence. The trans-Saharan caravan route was the most deadly, however. It has been estimated that for every slave to reach Cairo alive, 10 died on the way.
Damn!
Nor was Cairo exceptional. Missionary explorer David Livingstone, among others, estimated that several slaves were captured for every one that reached the Mediterranean alive. Women were particularly vulnerable and were more in demand than men. They brought higher prices in the Islamic countries, where they were widely used as domestic servants or as concubines. Ethiopian women sold for higher prices than Negro women, and white women from the Caucasus brought the highest prices of all. A special danger to men and boys was castration, to produce the eunuchs widely used in Islamic countries for work in the harem.
Castration.
Because the operation was forbidden under Islamic law, it was usually performed early, and often crudely, before reaching areas under the effective control of the Ottoman Empire. An estimated 90% of the men or boys died from the operation, though some groups of slave traders were sufficiently skilled to have much lower mortality rates. Eunuchs brought far higher prices than other slaves.
All right, pause it. So I just wanted to touch that just so you can see some visuals, some pictures, and see and hear the atrocities that we went through, all right?
Right.
Go to the next article real quick. We about to wrap it up. I want to run through this. Go to the next article, right? To read that. So remember in the other video with the one in Libya about the slaves, right?
Right.
He said that they're killing each other over there, right? They were killing each other. He said whether you be from Nigeria, these different regions from the West, they're killing you, they're enslaving you. Watch this. This is the where they're getting the mindset from. These brothers that's Muslim, that's over there, what they're doing to each other. Watch this. Read that title.
Christmas massacres challenge secular explanations of Nigeria conflict.
Read that, the bottom line.
Religious animosity mixed with farmer-herder tensions continue to plague Christians in beleaguered Middle Belt region.
Watch this. Scroll down. Read that at least.
At least 140 Nigerian Christians were killed over the Christmas holiday. Attacks on 26 villages in Plateau State began December 23rd, led by suspected extremists among Fulani Muslim herdsmen against Christian farming communities. Some media reports cite nearly 200 dead, with many missing as local residents fled from gunmen into the bush.
Right, so you got Nigerians that are Muslim killing the Nigerians that are Christian. Some evil stuff, man. Put me up the map. Get the map. Get the map, that last map. Pull that up. This is why we got a big job to do in Africa. Watch this. Look at this. Pull that up. So half of the country is under Islamic rule, and the other half is under Christianity rule. The top is mainly the Arabs run that region, and the bottom, South Africa, is the so-called Caucasian, the white man. Okay? And you had the Arabs, not the Arabs, but the Muslims that are African, our brothers, the Israelites, killing other Israelites that are Christian. Some evil stuff going on, man. This is why we got to hit these regions. That's why, shout out to all the brothers that's out there in Africa doing the work, preaching this gospel, putting their life on the line.
That's right.
That's what the brothers are doing.
Right.
Brothers getting beat out there. Brothers getting almost some crazy stuff happening to the brothers out there, man, in Africa doing the work. So shout out to them brothers, man. The spirit is on those brothers, all right? Let's drop that. Go to this last video. Now, this is what I wanted to play because I got to set the stage on this one. You got everybody knows what's going on in Israel right now with Israel and Gaza, right?
Right.
There's a war going out, and it's not even really a war. Israel is just, the Israelis is decimating genocide. Yes,
yep, genocide.
The so-called Palestinians, the Arabs over there, right? But while all this is going on over there, look what Hamas, look what the Arabs, look what the Muslims, those that follow Islam, look what they doing to your brothers over there, man. Look what they doing. Play this video.
لباتشي طلعت يا شباب شباب لباتشي يا شباب شباب لباتشي يا شباب
You see what they doing to your brothers over there? This is what Hamas, this is what the Arabs are doing to you. While they getting bombed, while they getting killed by the Israelis, they find enough time to put Israelites to death, to put the black man to death. This is what they doing over there. So you want to sit here and say, pray for Palestine, pray for the Arabs? The hell with that. We're not on the Arab side. We're not on the Israeli side. We're on God's side.
That's right.
The hell wrong with you, man? Then you have the nerve to say you a Muslim, that you follow Islam, that you follow Allah, you believe in Muhammad, when this is what they doing to your brothers right now as we speak. This is why the Lord going to bring judgment on the Arabs, man. Let's deal with that. Give me that in Isaiah chapter 21, verse 11. We're going to deal with the judgment of Ishmael. We're going to run through this real quick. Isaiah 21 and verse 11.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 21 and verse 11. The burden of Duma, he calleth to me.
Who's Duma? Duma is one of the sons of Ishmael. Read.
He calleth to me out of Seir. Watchman, what of the night? Watchman, what of the night?
Come on.
The watchman said, the morning cometh, and also the night. If ye will inquire, inquire ye. Return, come.
Read.
The burden upon Arabia.
The burden upon Arabia. We are prophesying God is going to bring judgment on Arabia. Read.
In the forest in Arabia shall ye lodge, O ye traveling companies of Dedanim.
Read.
The inhabitants of the land of Tema.
Who's Tema? Another son of Ishmael. Read.
Brought water to him that was thirsty. They perverted with their bread him that fled.
Read.
For they fled from the swords, from the drawn sword, from the bent bow, from the grievousness of war.
That's what you see going on right now in Palestine. Come on.
For thus hath the Lord said unto me, within a year, according to the years of an hireling, and all the glory of Kedar.
Of what?
Of Kedar.
Kedar, another son of Ishmael, shall what?
Shall fail.
Shall what?
Shall fail.
Read.
And the residue of the number of archers, the mighty men of the children of Kedar, shall be diminished.
Shall be diminished. Thus saith the Lord. Praise ye God, man. Read.
For the Lord God of Israel have spoken it.
The Lord God of Israel has spoken it. Isaiah 14:24. Isaiah 14 and verse 24. Jump down to verse 29. So just Ishmael would think that because the Lord is gonna take off their yoke, that Allah is good, Allah's on their side, God is on their side. But watch this. Read.
Verse 29. Rejoice not thou, whole Palestinia.
Don't rejoice, Palestine. Don't rejoice, you Palestinians. Read.
Because the rod of him that smote thee is broken.
Watch this.
For out of the serpent's root shall come forth a cockatrice, and his fruit shall be a fiery flying serpent.
That's them nukes. The America, the Israelis, Russia, all these nations are going to come and drop bombs on the Arabs. All right, give me that. We're coming right back. Revelations 9:19. For the flying serpent. We're coming right back. The flying fiery serpent. Start at verse 18.
Verse 18. By these three was the third part of men killed.
Come on.
By the fire.
By fire.
And by the smoke.
By smoke.
And by the brimstone which issued out of their mouths.
Those are the nukes. Those are the nukes. Read.
For their power is in their mouth.
Read.
And in their tails. For their tails were like unto serpents.
Were like what?
Unto serpents.
Come on.
And had heads. With them they do hurt.
They do hurt. Now go back to Isaiah. Go back to Isaiah. Read Read verse 29 one more time.
Isaiah chapter 14, verse 29. Rejoice not thou, whole Palestina.
Come on.
Because the rod of him that smote thee is broken. For out of the serpent's root shall come forth a cockatrice, and his fruit shall be a fiery flying serpent.
Read on.
And the firstborn of the poor shall feed, and the needy shall lie down in safety.
That's us. That's the children of Israel. Read.
And I will kill the root with famine, and he shall slay thy remnant.
Come on.
Howl, O gate. Cry, O city. Thou whole Palestina.
Thou whole Palestina, cry. Read.
Art dissolved.
Or what?
Art dissolved.
God is going to dissolve. He's going to destroy. He's going to drop nukes on Palestine, on Gaza, on that whole region. Read.
For there shall come from the north a smoke, and none shall be alone in his appointed times.
Give me Amos chapter 1 verse 6. Amos chapter 1 verse 6.
The book of Amos chapter 1 verse 6. Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Gaza.
We seen the transgression of Gaza. We seen it on the screen. They still killing our brothers over there. Read.
And for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they carried away captive the whole captivity to deliver them up to Edom.
Come on.
But I will send a fire.
A what?
A fire.
Read.
On the wall of Gaza, which shall devour the palaces thereof.
Come on.
And I will cut off the inhabitant from Ashdod, and him that holdeth the scepter from Ashkelon.
Come on.
And I will turn my hand against Ekron.
These are different cities in the land of Israel today. They will be destroyed. Read.
And the remnant of the Philistines,
of the Palestinians, come on,
shall perish.
Shall what?
Shall perish.
Give me Jeremiah chapter 47 verse 1. Jeremiah 47 verse 1.
The book of Jeremiah chapter 47 and verse 1.
Come on.
The word of the Lord that came to Jeremiah, the prophet, against the Philistines.
Against who?
Against the Philistines.
Read.
Before that Pharaoh smote Gaza.
Come on.
Thus saith the Lord, behold, waters rise up out of the north, and shall be an overflowing flood, and shall overflow the land.
That's going into destruction. Read.
And all that is therein, the city, and them that dwell therein. Then the men shall cry, and all the inhabitants of the land shall howl.
Jump down to verse 4.
Verse 4, because of the day that cometh to spoil all the Philistines.
To spoil all the Palestinians, read.
And to cut off from Tyrus and Zidon.
That's Lebanon.
Every helper that remaineth. For the Lord will spoil the Philistines.
He will do what?
Spoil the Philistines.
Read.
The remnant of the country of Caphtor.
Read on.
Boldness is come upon Gaza.
Boldness is come upon Gaza. Read.
Ashkelon is cut off.
Ashkelon will be cut off.
With the remnant of their valley. How long wilt thou cut thyself?
That's it. Give me Zephaniah chapter 2 verse 4. Zephaniah chapter 2 verse 4. We're going over the judgment of Ishmael. These things will come to pass. This will happen. Thus saith the Lord. It's not my words. It's God's words. Read.
The book of Zephaniah chapter 2 verse 4. For Gaza shall be forsaken, and Ashkelon a desolation.
Read it again.
For Gaza shall be forsaken.
Come on.
And Ashkelon a desolation.
Read.
They shall drive out Ashdod at noonday, and Ekron shall be rooted up. Woe unto the inhabitants of the seacoast, the nation of the Cherethites.
Read.
The word of the Lord is against you, O Canaan, the land of the Philistines. I will even destroy thee.
He will do what?
Destroy thee.
God will destroy you. Read.
That there shall be no inhabitant. And the seacoast shall be dwellings and cottages for the shepherds of the folds for flocks.
Come on.
And the coast shall be for the remnant of the house of Judah.
And the coast shall be for the remnant of the house of Judah. God is going to give us back the land. Come on.
They shall feed thereupon. In the houses of Ashkelon shall they lie down in the evening, and the Lord their God shall visit them and turn away their captivity.
All praises to the Most High God. He's going to turn away our captivity. Ezekiel 25 verse 15.
The book of Ezekiel chapter 25 verse 15. Thus saith the Lord God, because the Philistines,
because the Palestinians, read,
have dealt by revenge.
Dealt by what?
Revenge.
Come on.
And have taken vengeance with a despiteful heart.
Read.
To destroy it for the old hatred.
For the what?
The old hatred.
We just showed you the old hatred of the Palestinians, the old hatred of the Arabs, of the old hatred of those that follow Islam, those that claim to be Muslim. We showed you the old hatred. Read.
Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, behold, I will stretch out mine hand upon the Philistines, and I will cut the cherethims and destroy the remnant of the sea coast.
Read on.
And I will execute great vengeance upon them with furious rebukes.
Yeah, that he will execute great vengeance with furious rebuke. Read.
And they shall know that I am the Lord when I shall lay my vengeance upon them.
All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High God, man. All praises, because there's redemption for all this evil that we've been through. All the atrocities that we've been through, there's redemption for us, man. But you must keep God's commandments. You must come back as the Israelites, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Come out of this Islam. Come out of a Muslim. Being a Muslim, come out of this religion. There's no power in it. Destruction, that's all you read. Destruction is going to come to these people, to the Arabs, for what they've done to God's people. Now let's deal with solutions, man. Let's deal with solutions, and we're going to wrap it up. Give me Baruch chapter 4, verse 6.
Yes, sir. The book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 6. Ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because ye moved God to wrath. Ye were delivered unto the enemies.
You hear that? Because we moved God to wrath. This is why he delivered us into the hand of the Arabs. Read.
For ye provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils and not to God.
We read that in Deuteronomy 32:17. We sacrifice unto devils and not to God. What is that religion? Islam, the Muslim religion, the Muslim faith. Read.
Ye have forgotten the everlasting God that brought you up, and ye have grieved Jerusalem that nourished you.
Come on.
For when she saw the wrath of God coming upon you, she said, hearken, O ye that dwell about Zion. God hath brought upon me great mourning.
Read.
For I saw the captivity of my sons and daughters, which the everlasting brought upon them.
So God brought this on us. God brought the Arabs upon us because of our disobedience. Read.
With joy did I nourish them, but sent them away with weeping and mourning.
So the land is crying for us. The land is weeping for us. The land wants us to return, to come back to it. Right, read?
Let no man rejoice over me, a widow, and forsaken of many, who for the sins of my children and left desolate, because they departed from the law of God. They knew not his statutes, nor walked in the ways of his commandments, nor trod in the paths of discipline.
That's the big thing right there. We did not keep his statutes, nor walked in the ways of the commandments, or follow the path of discipline in his righteousness. Read on.
Let them that dwell about Zion come, and remember ye the captivity of my sons and daughters, which the everlasting have brought upon them.
All right, give me Leviticus chapter 26 and verse 40. Leviticus chapter 26 and verse 40.
The book of Leviticus chapter 26 verse 40. If they shall confess their iniquity and the iniquity of their fathers with their trespass, which they trespassed against me.
Come on.
And that also they have walked contrary unto me.
That's what we got to do. We got to confess and acknowledge and tell the Lord we have walked contrary. Lord, forgive me for following the Arab man's religion, for following this religion that has destroyed our people for over hundreds of years. Forgive me, Father, for kissing that rock, for worshiping that stone. Forgive me, right? Read.
And that I also have walked contrary unto them, and have brought them into the land of their enemies.
Right, that's Saudi Arabia, that whole Middle East, the Lord brought us there. Come on.
In their uncircumcised, and then, if then their uncircumcised hearts be humbled, if they then accept of the punishment of their iniquity.
And that's what we're trying to do, get you to humble yourselves, brothers and sisters, to humble yourself and accept it, acknowledge the fact that we have transgressed the commandments of God, right? Read.
Then accept of their punishment of their iniquity, then will I remember my covenant with Jacob, and also my covenant with Isaac.
No, with Ishmael.
And my covenant with Isaac.
The covenant with Jacob and Isaac. Read.
And also my covenant with Abraham.
With Father Abraham. Read.
Will I remember. And I will remember the land.
And he will remember the land. Give me Ezekiel chapter 14 and verse 16. Ezekiel 14 and 6. My bad.
Ezekiel chapter 14 and verse 6.
Yes.
Therefore say unto the house of Israel, thus saith the Lord God, Repent.
Do what?
Repent.
We must repent as the Israelites. We must repent and come back to our laws, statutes, and commandments. Come back to Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Ephraim, Issachar, Naphtali, Gad, Reuben, Asher. Come back to your true heritage. Read.
And turn yourselves from your idols.
From your what?
From your idols.
Turn yourself from Islam. Turn yourself from Allah, that rock, that cobblestone, Mecca. Turn yourself away from these things. Read.
And turn away your faces from your abominations. For every one of the house of Israel, or of the stranger that sojourneth in Israel, which separateth himself from me, and setteth up his idols in his heart, and putteth the stumbling block of his iniquity before his face, and cometh to a prophet to inquire of him concerning me, I, the Lord, will answer him by myself.
All right, so drop that. Give me last scripture, Joel chapter 2, verse 27. Last scripture, Joel chapter 2, verse 27. So what we showed you how Ishmael was always at war with us, Israel. And then we went and showed you historically how the Arabs had us in slavery. All right, come out of this religion, man, because this is not the black man's religion. Like I said, we're seeking something. We're looking for identity, but we're looking in all the wrong places when the answer's been right here this whole time, the Holy Bible, and not Christianity, not white supremacy Christianity, no, but the truth of the Bible, that you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you are the Israelites. You are God's chosen people. Read that.
The book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 27.
Come on.
And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel.
Read it again. Read with power, brother. Come on.
And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel.
No, he's in the midst of the Arabs of Ishmael.
I am in the midst of Israel.
God is in the midst of Israel. Read.
And that I am the Lord your God.
He's the God of who?
Your God.
Come on.
And none else.
And what?
And none else.
And none else. Okay, he's the God of Israel and none else. Read on.
And my people shall never be ashamed.
And we shouldn't be ashamed of that because God is coming to deliver us out of this captivity, man. Thus saith the Lord. All praises to the Most High God. Put the thumbnail back on the screen, y'all. Put the thumbnail on the screen. All right? So that's been the class, the horrifying influence of Islam in the black community, all right? I've been Officer Razis.
Officer Asahel.
And with that, we say shalom.
What is a nation? Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models.